Hotel Architect is a chaotic top-down tycoon game in which you become a powerful hospitality magnet aiming to develop a global hotel chain from humble beginnings. You'll be building and managing each facility from the ground up, and as well as have fun and being creative with your design mode and to lay out your hotel, placing your amenities and choosing furnishings for every room. There's an unpredictable, frenetic, real-time management element involved as you try to cope with difficult and demanding guests, temperamental employees, complex supply chains, and disaster all, keeping the healthy cash flow, which is very important, ultimately aiming for that coveted 5-star review. This game comes with a bubbly, slightish, cartoonish 3D aspect, reminiscent of current successful management simulator titles such as the highly enjoyable 2-Point Hospital or The Tenants. But it has its own twist. Developers have forgone any attempts at photorealism in favor of vivid, colorful, readable style, and this is clearly a very pragmatic decision since hotel guests and specific staff skills in pragmatic situations like waste disposal and broken facilities as prime examples have immediately discernible, intuitive, understandable when observed from a bird's eye point of view at the highest top-down angle. Of course, you can rotate it with the camera. As far as the resolution goes, Hotel Architect supports anything, from 1080p to the highest resolution, which is 4K, and this means it can be scaled all the way down to you're viewing an entire vertical constructed hotel efficiently, or scale all the way back up to clearly inspect individual room decor. As far as the frame rate goes, it aims at a solid 30 FPS at 1080p, but you can easily, go further to 60 FPS at 4K, with the system that recommends, like, if you have a RTX 2070 or RX 6600 XT installed, you should be all good after that. It doesn't implement a cap, but, it's unlimited, Of course, you got a variable, frame rate. They can go beyond 60 FPS, like you can go 120 or better, just for displays. And also depends on the monitor that you have at the highest refresh rates. The main point of the presentation is the gameplay elements, just a release of the Tycoon games. It covers like from move from early access to full version. And, if you have this on PC, get it on Steam or any other platform, it's right there. I mean, any other platform is basically the launchers like Steam or Epic. This will include information about playing the game, if you have like the GeForce Now, but the structure outlines the currently exclusive platforms that Hotel Architect that is available on. Now, as far as on consoles, it's no words are going to come to consoles yet, but surely probably down the line it'll be there. Of course, it uses the Unreal Engine 5. If you have the handhelds like the Steam Deck, surely it works well on the handhelds as well. But as far as the mini management menus goes, that everything will come with this game. But overall, the presentation is good, if you're into these kind of games. As it goes with this game, the goal is to become the ultimate mogul of the hospitality business, and you are the boss of creating and designing and managing a massive hotel chain across the world. You first start off in Sweden, but then you move on to different countries. This is all in a 3D construction tycoon management simulator. The gameplay includes a dynamic building, critical logistics, and client satisfaction, which all interacts throughout the different modes in the game. Starting with the construction and customization, you're the head of the building design. You will use complete 3D multiple floor building mechanisms in order to construct anything from the ground up or to renovate an abandoned hotel. It will, be your task to organize and design all the spaces within your establishment, to implement service areas, build all the equipment that you need in a wide range of items, wallpapers, floors, and the terms of decoration. And as far as like the guest satisfaction and the other problems you got to deal with, in the game, the guests are independent, expressive individuals with their own personal quirks and emotional behavior. Your duty is to please the variety of demands of the clients, including critics or couples, and the latest updates in the game by taking care of their needs in all areas, including food, entertainment, just to name a few. If any mistreatment, that's up to you to handle that, because even with that covered a 5-star review, you better satisfy them any way possible. As far as your staff and advancement systems, this is where you have to recruit the right people in the right areas just to play the key roles. You also got to check their personalities. Like, they may be good in one area, but they also lack in another area, because they say, hey, say like a chef that's good what they're doing, but then they could be a loudmouth. So basically, you got to keep an eye on them just to make sure they do the tasks that you pay them to do. Of course, like the other modes that are involved, there is a campaign mode and there's a sandbox freedom. So basically, the campaign mode it's basically like the story mode. There's goals that you have to meet. As far as sandbox, I mean, you have the freedom just to do how you see fit. So when it comes to the world, there are 8 international destinations you can go to. I mean, you can start at St. Anton, Black Forest of Germany, and from Sweden to London, even to the good old US of A. How you see fit. There's the specific designs and foundations on each place that provides unlockable goals. But of course, like the other countries, you have to unlock them first, because you got to beat the previous cities first. But although the sandbox mode is free, complete control, like I mentioned earlier, do as you see fit. Everything is all available to you. Some of the issues with this game contends with the AI guests being unruly. The worker AIs aren't any better, because some of these problems hamper the experience and keep you from progressing. And finally, this is for the players who love construction/management games. This game is a robust 3D isometric system allowing for full control in either construction and renovation, or both. The theme park style tools offer creative freedom to design anything from lobby layouts, dining areas, casinos, to the most luxurious of spas. The progression is incredibly satisfying as you turn your vision from nothing to something tangible. Here the game really excels. Dirty and clean plates appear in the kitchen, determine the table settings will be completed and servers can be restarted. Interlocking systems for supply lines, contractor management, and staff placements result in almost unsettling realistic models to solve. Solving these complex systems of puzzles is very rewarding, because here you build, attract your guests, earn those 5-star reviews, so that way you can upload those upgrades and expand to new hotels. Career mode provides clear objectives, while the sandbox mode provides a place where you can run wild creatively. The game's length ranging from 35 to 60 plus hours, but the number one complaint is the slow service. It was reported that it occurs when the staff and facilities were just optimal and the servers would just ignore the patrons, they're just standing well oddly for that 100% satisfying rating. And the AI just seems not to be capable of taking the priority seriously. And there's no search function for placeable objects, and there's no way to filter out or hide the items that you're unable to buy at the moment. Room numbering management is cumbersome because the entire menu system is just unintuitive, and there's no in-game numbering. So that way, hey, you know where to go. Just so that way, those patrons, hotel guests, have their needs attended to. There's no layout suggestions either, so all I wish could have been saved like the player a large amount of time. Yeah, maybe going through it's just been a headache after that, just to manage our large hotel complexes. And for that, I give Hotel Architect a 3 out of 5. Thanks for tuning into the best place for independent gamer journalism, and that is the gamer section. Hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn that bell on for notifications.